Vector, since you will be most likely listening to this later or such, I'll be covering a few things with you. First off, your torque planes are usually a little bit faster than your fighters for takeoff by like maybe 5 seconds. You're able to save 5 seconds if you take off with them early, so I do recommend going with like one of your torque planes off first, then your fighters next, but based on personal preference. Only launching one of them I usually do on my Hawk or such.
Group 3, maintaining present course. Group 5, airborne. Group 6, maintaining
So
present
one thing about
course.
CV is that when you send your fighters to the left and right at the beginning, you're not gonna get there on time, or it's gonna be a little bit slower. So if you have a specific priority of spotting or such, and you want to spot the destroyer going into B or such, you head straight in a straight line towards it to get there as fast as possible. Sort of like a beeline strategy.
Standing by for instructions. Over.
Also, you have confirmed that the enemy Saipan fighter was going off to the left a bit, and you had your torque planes and your dive bombers and such. When you spot your first target, such as like the Nicholas or something like that, that should have been like the first target that you should send your torque planes at, right from the start. So like, I like to keep my planes dead center or something like that, such that I could rotate them very quickly. So here's the Grammy.
Standing by for instructions.
I guess you're gonna drop on him.
Awaiting instructions. Group 2, awaiting instructions.
He is not moving in his smoke from the looks of it, so if you dropped it one to the left and one to the right, you should have hit him, most likely.
Standing by for instructions. Over. Group 4, awaiting instructions. Group 5, awaiting instructions.
Try to move up your dive bomber somewhere near an area beside your torque bomber. That way they're together, or they can help each other or such if you don't finish someone off.
Group 5, standing by for instructions. Over. Group 4, we're under attack. Group 3, standing by for instructions. Over. Group 3, we're under attack.
See if you can practice on striking on destroyer, because this guy has been going a straight line for a while now, but you took quite a bit of time dropping on him, and he dropped it on him, not like in front. So you gotta lead destroyers a little bit more now. But he is flooding for some odd reason and not repairing it. But yeah, when you're dropping a destroyer and he's like going straight or such, try to drop it lead a little bit more based on his speed, right? He had maybe like 20-30 seconds of seeing him roll straight downwards. Try to adjust accordingly. This is more like it'll come with experience. It's not just an instant thing.
Group 3, awaiting instructions. Group 6, standing by for instructions. Over. Group 5, ready for takeoff. Group 6, returning to ship. Group 7, returning to ship.
I'm surprised the Saipan hasn't strafed you yet.
5, maintaining present course. Group 3, engaging enemy. Group 7, awaiting instructions. Group 3, taking flight.
Oh, nice strafe on the Saipan.
Awaiting instructions.
So you caught one of his fighter squads, and now I guess you're going for a lock then. Dive bombers in danger? Guess not. So you know that there's only a Grammy on this left side, but there's like things like the Ashitaka in the back or such. I would have went for them instead and just spotted the Grammy for teammates, since you do have many teammates here who will finish him off. The Ashitaka does not have really a lot of anti-air, and he's at the back of the pack, so I would have went for him. Secondly, your positioning, I would start pushing up your CV once this Grammy dies, if possible. Just things like that. Looks like you caught the Saipan fighters. I would have reinforced with the second squad to help the first in case your first dies by RNG.
Group 4, returning to ship. Group 5, standing by for instructions. Over.
Yeah, as you can see, you lost quite a few fighters.
Group 5, standing by for instructions. Over.
You will not be able to catch the Saipan fighter. That he is much faster than yours, so strafing or doing any of this is pointless. But this is only a special case of the Saipan. So if I was playing your Hiryu or such, since you did like get his fighters down and such, I would have took that opportunity to possibly have gone for the Ashitaka when he was back at C8 and such. Have all my planes towards the right side. I know there was Atlanta, that's a bit of a bother, and they are balling up a bit. But yeah, leaving like the Grammy and things like that to teammates and focusing on like a little bit chunkier targets is what I would have done for damage padding. But yeah. Next up, currently you can see the Queen Elizabeth is leading the pack. I would have just sent all my strike force there. You have your dive bombers AFK left alone here. Remember, try to pull them back in. Your fighters are great and such, pulling them back and focusing on them, but if the Saipan isn't focusing on his fighters, you should be focusing on your strikes, getting them faster and closer. This game is already looking like it's over, so I would have just pushed up with my CV as hard as I can, maybe a lot earlier, because you already could have seen how the game was swinging. And then yeah.
Group 4, airborne. Group 2, airborne. Group 6, airborne. Group 7, maintaining present course. Group 2, approaching target. Group 2, target destroyed. Group 2, engaging enemy. Group 5, taking fire. Group 4, taking fire.
Good strafe on the Saipan.
Standing by for instructions. Over. Group 6.
You are injuring his planes quite a bit, so now the target, the Queen Elizabeth, as you can see, is just free to strike. Having all your strike planes hitting a New York, which has very good turn circle in the back with all his fighters there, is just a mistake. Because you cleared out this lower area with your fighters, you use your fighters to protect your planes, your strike force, but yeah. I don't know what you're doing with your dive bombers, but you can see the majority of the enemy team is one specific area now. You do have a very good positioning on your CV right now, so that's pretty good. But like this Queen Elizabeth is just charging forward, and this should be a free kill right here. 30-40k damage, or even Ashitaka, right? Striking this ball of AA here with 3 ships within the area is not exactly ideal.
Group 4, ready for takeoff. Group 5, airborne. Group 3, approaching target.
One thing you can do to the Saipan or such is lock his, follow his dive bomber, I mean not dive bomber, torp bombers, and then strike them from behind. Try to get your planes to strike. I know it's hard to micromanage, but hopefully in the future you'll be a little bit faster in terms of switching over, right? Because if his fighters were strafing your, okay, yeah, they're striking your fighter. So there's a lot to focus on when you're playing CV. It is a little bit difficult to get it all at once. That's why you either keep everything within the local region or such. If I was at Saipan, he would have just strafed your 4th and 5th squad right now. Don't group up your plane squads like this. Put one on, send one to one direction, send one to the other direction, and or else you're gonna get strafed very easily.
Group 5, we're under attack.
Okay, this Saipan's not exactly straight.
Group 2, approaching target. Group 2, we're under attack. Group 4, awaiting instructions. Group 5, we're under attack.
Send the squad forward southwards. Okay, that's perfect. Send it northwards. Perfect. There you go, you dodged the strafe.
Awaiting instructions. Group 5, engaging.
And then send 4 under him, since he's turning this way. So you would have sent it this way and then dropped it towards him turning. If you go this way, you're going to have to fly a little bit further and keep following him as he turns.
Group 2, target destroyed. Group 2, standing by for instructions. Over. Group 4, engaging enemy.
You dropped it a little bit. Okay, so you have torpedo acceleration. You should drop it a little bit further and try to get more torques on him.
Ready for takeoff.
If you're going for battle torping or like guaranteed flooding, then that is one way of doing it, but yeah. I believe this game should be over.
Victory is in sight. Group 6, airborne. Group 2, destroyed. Group 3, approaching target.
No, it looks like the Saipan left his planes alone, and you were able to strafe them. That's pretty good. You still are getting quite a few of the Saipan's planes, so that's like, you're doing alright, like in terms of that aspect. It's just, you gotta focus on like, who can you strike. I know that sometimes it feels like you can't strike anyone, but it's really just how you position your planes and how you pick a target, right? As soon as the Atlanta went down, there was an opportunity towards C that you should look toward. And lastly, if you click the Saipan torp bombers, he's gonna start flying in a direction. Then you could strafe him if you see the direction he's going in, because his planes are faster than you, so it will create a distance just so you can strafe him easily. It's a tactic that you may want to practice and try a few times in the future. It looks like the New York's the last one left.